everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's episode we have another hit in the house, and it feels like the channel is doing pretty well, considering that in the last 2 or 3 months we've had some really cool watches. We had a Submariner, we had a Daytona Panda, we had a IWC Big Pilot, and now we have the Hulk. It's a watch that is very special. It's a watch that is very hard to find, and it's a watch that is expensive as fuck. Now this watch right now on Chrono24 goes for about 25,000 Canadian dollars, whatever that is in US dollars. I apologize because I don't know and I don't have time to look it up. But Rolex Submariner HULK is a watch that a lot of people might not even realize, but it's, at the end of the day, it's a Submariner. A lot of the people don't even call it Submariner HULK, it's just the Rolex HULK. And everybody knows that it's a green dial, green bezel Submariner. And I want to just quickly clarify that. It is a Submariner. Now this watch is very special, very unique, and a lot of the times people don't realize that at the end of the day, this is just another Submariner. It's just another Submariner with a green dial and green bezel, and because of its price, people think if they spend $20,000 on a watch, then they have to keep it in a box, they have to keep it at the bank, they have to wear it only on special occasions. But what I find with Rolex more and more is that it's just a watch. There's nothing special to it besides a design, besides good marketing. I mean, a lot of the times we buy a Rolex simply because we've achieved something. It's a symbol of status, it's a symbol of hard work, but at the end of the day, when you narrow it down and just look at the watch itself, you realize that it's just a watch. It's stainless steel, it's no better than a Seiko, it doesn't show you better time than a Seiko. It's that's it. There's nothing specially about the Submariner, there's no complication here. It's sometimes you don't even get a date, sometimes you can get it, you can have it with the date. So that's about it. It is a simple diver's watch that was intended to be a tool and nothing else. Now when I was asked to review this watch, I of course said yes, and it was late in the evening when I went to the gentleman's house to pick up the watch, and it was kind of dark, and so I took it and put it on my wrist, and I was like, oh my god, I'm spending another week with another cool watch. And the watch in the dark, you clearly saw that it was a green Submariner, not a black Submariner, but you could see it a lot on the bezel, but you couldn't really see it on the dial. The dial was almost black. I had to keep it under different light to understand that, yeah, it's a HULK. And so that was a cool thing. I don't know, I loved it in that initial second. The next day, in the day where when I maybe was in a bright room with a light, I was a little bit disappointed. But the reason I say disappointed is because I always had a feeling that the HULK would have a little more toned down dial. So this dial shines so much. It is glossy, and I never liked that in a watch. I hated that. And it has been a long time since I ever even seen a photo of the HULK, and I've always had that idea in my mind that it's a lot more matte. That dial, I just felt like it's a lot more matte or a lot less shiny than it actually is. And I have right now with me my new purchase, which is an Oris Diver 65 with a bronze bezel and a green dial. It is a matte dial and is a darker dial than the Sub, but it's matte, it doesn't shine, and I love it. It's just more toned down, it is more subtle, it is more calm than this one. And a lot of the times I look at it, and if it's really bright and the dial just shines so much, it almost feels like it's a fake watch. I just get this feeling, and I don't know if you are fine with that, then this is not a negative point for you, but at least for me, this is where, you know, my excitement left and my disappointment began. So this is at least my negative point about the watch. Now, also spending time with this watch for a week is when I actually started to look more at the other two variations of the green Submariner, because this is not the first green dial Rolex that we have. Before this one, in 2003, we had Kermit, which was a Submariner with a black dial and a green bezel, and it was released for the 50th anniversary of the Submariner. But in 2010, the Kermit got discontinued. Hulk edition started. This one was our new green Submariner. And then in 2020, the Submariner Hulk got discontinued, and we have a new Kermit, which is a ceramic bezel, green bezel with a black dial. It is a different shade of green than the initial Kermit, but I feel like it is perfected, if you know what I mean. They took the better parts of both Kermit and the Hulk, and they made the new Kermit, which is the same color with ceramic bezel as the Hulk, but the dial is black like the original Kermit. And that, I think, is the better green Submariner if you're looking to get a green Submariner, unless you truly like this one. There's one more thing that I don't like about this watch, and that is not necessarily that it's this particular one because it's a Hulk. I mean in general the Submariner line, and that is its thickness. I don't really understand why the sub is so thick, for no apparent reason. The watch is 13 millimeters in thickness, and I have another diver's watch here, which is my Longines Hydro Conquest, 300 meters of water resistance, and the watch is 11 millimeters in thickness. Same watch, same one date complication and nothing else. 2 millimeters thicker for no real reason. And for a better example, we have the Daytona, which is 11.9 millimeters in thickness, and that is a watch with a lot more components because it's a chronograph, and they managed to make that watch slimmer than a diver's watch with no complications besides a window date. I never understand that, and a lot of the times it does feel slimmer than it actually is, but then a lot of times it doesn't because of this bubble back case. So it depends from what angle you look at the watch. When you hit the wrong spot, then you really see this gap between your wrist and the watch due to its bubble back case that raises up the watch, and just it makes it really annoying. I have a big problem with that. And again, that might just be only me, but pay attention to that because the first time I spent time with Submariner, I've only realized that a couple of days in. There's something was wrong about the watch until a couple of days later that I was like, oh, okay, I understand what my issue with the watch is. It feels too thick for no reason. But you know, of course I can't end this video with only negatives about this watch because it has one absolutely phenomenal thing in general, the Submariner line, not just the Hulk, and that is this glide lock mechanism in the clasp. It lets you adjust the size of the watch within seconds, and that is phenomenal. I have a small wrist here and a very large wrist here, and I normally like to wear my watch a little bit lower, a little bit looser, and so every time I make it a size bigger and I let it looser on my wrist, if I wear a jacket or anything with a smaller, tighter sleeve, then it pushes the watch down and then it's loose around my wrist. And so having this quick adjustment system that I can adjust it in seconds, and I will quickly demonstrate here. This is where I like to wear my watch, a lot higher up on the wrist. And if I was to wear some jacket or something that pushes it down, then the watch is so much looser, and I don't like that. And in that case, I can just remove it, open this up, slide it back in, something like that, click it back in, and then boom. And so the watch now is made to fit a different part of my wrist, and that is phenomenal. And a lot of the times you might also notice that in the spring and fall times when it's colder in the morning but it's warmer in the afternoon, or literally when you are throughout the day just working, sweating, getting a lot of things done, getting stressed, your wrist can swell a little bit, and then in that case you can immediately adjust the watch and get it comfortable for your wrist. And that is truly a phenomenal thing to have in a watch. None of my watches have this. I don't know if any other brands incorporated any quick adjustment system like this to literally adjust your bracelet to fit you different sizes. Is phenomenal. Hands down, Rolex, you do it best. And it's pretty surprising because Rolex is a brand that really doesn't give a shit about their customers, with their long lines, with their arrogance towards us, never listening to what we're asking. you know, I feel like this is a really people-oriented, customer-oriented thing that they've really focused on the clasp, and it's phenomenal. I like it. And to wrap up this video, I quickly want to tell you guys that no matter how special this watch is, no matter how much money you spend on this watch, no matter where it's going to be in the future, if it's going to go up in price or drop down, at the end of the day, it is just another watch. It is just another sports luxury watch that is meant to be worn every day, everywhere, no matter the conditions. It's supposed to withstand anything. It's supposed to go with any outfits, whether you're at the office or in pajamas at home making breakfast for your kids, whatever you plan to do, day-to-day activities, this watch should be on your wrist. And don't keep it in a box, don't keep it at the bank, just enjoy it, wear it. It's meant for you to build memories with your family and with your loved ones, and that is what I want to encourage you guys all the time, no matter what watch you're getting. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.
Overrated as fuck.